From October 1944 to August 1945, hundreds of Japanese aircraft types became weapons of last resort. Standard fighters, dive bombers, and torpedo planes transformed from tools of combat into guided missiles. This is the complete catalogue of every kamikaze aircraft that flew against the Allied fleets, from legendary Zeros to experimental rocket bombs. Let's begin with the frontline fighters and carrier bombers that first answered the call. Mitsubishi A6M Zero. The Zero dominated Pacific skies early in the war, outmaneuvering everything it faced. Stripped of ammunition to carry a single 250 kg bomb, this legendary fighter became kamikaze's most recognized symbol. Its maneuverability made evasion difficult, but experienced pilots were wasted on one-way missions. Yokosuka D4Y Suisei Judy. The Judy was Japan's fastest carrier dive bomber, capable of 360 panansadash in a dive. Its speed gave kamikaze pilots better chances of reaching targets before interceptors caught them. The aircraft's fragility meant even grazing hits caused catastrophic failures. Aichi D3A VAL. This VAL was obsolete by 1944, replaced by faster dive bombers on every front. Available in huge numbers, it became kamikaze fodder despite slow speed and light bomb capacity. Its fixed landing gear created massive drag, making it easy prey for Hellcats. Nakajima B5N Kate. The Kate torpedo bomber devastated Pearl Harbor but was hopelessly outdated by 1944. Converted kamikazes could carry 800 kilotons bombs, the heaviest load of any single-engine type. Low speed and poor maneuverability meant most never reached their targets. Nakajima B6N Tenzan Jill. The Jill replaced the Kate with better speed and range for kamikaze operations. Designed for torpedo attacks, it transitioned awkwardly to dive bombing with explosives. Production ended in 1945, after only 1-200 were built. Continuing with the twin-engine bombers pressed into suicide service. Yokosuka P1Y Ginga Francis. The Francis was Japan's fastest twin-engine bomber, reaching 340 mph in level flight. Its speed made it valuable for kamikaze missions, requiring long approaches to distant fleets. Chronic engine reliability issues meant many crashed before reaching targets. Mitsubishi G4M Betty. This Betty's extreme range allowed kamikaze attacks from distant bases beyond fighter escort range. Paper-thin armor earned it the nickname Flying Lighter among Allied pilots. It served primarily as mothership for Oka rocket bombs. Aichi B7A Ryusei Grace. The Grace was Japan's newest carrier bomber, combining dive and torpedo capabilities. Production delays meant only 114 reached service before kamikaze assignment ended their intended role. Heavy armament made each aircraft carry substantial explosive payload. These adaptations were merely stopgaps. Japan would soon design aircraft specifically for suicide missions, engineering death from the blueprint stage. Next up are the purpose-built kamikaze aircraft, machines designed from inception for one-way missions. Yokosuka MXY-7 Oka Baka Bomb. The Oka was a rocket-powered piloted missile dropped from Betty bombers at altitude. 3 solid fuel rockets accelerated it to 600 mph in terminal dive, making interception nearly impossible. Most never reached targets because slow Betty motherships were shot down miles from release points. Nakajima Ki 115 Tsurugi. The Tsurugi featured non-retractable landing gear designed to detach after takeoff, reducing weight and complexity. Constructed from non-strategic materials with minimal instrumentation, each aircraft cost less than training a pilot. Nose-heavy handling killed several test pilots before production halted at 104 units. Mizuno Shinryu. This Shinryu was assembled from salvaged components and wood, requiring only basic carpentry skills for construction. Crude canard configuration made it violently unstable, demanding constant control inputs from minimally trained pilots. None saw combat before the war's end. Nakajima Kika. The The Kika copied Germany's Me-262 jet design, but arrived too late for operational deployment. Twin turbojets promised 430 mph speed, faster than any Allied interceptor over Japan. Only 2 prototypes flew before August 1945 ended all testing. Kawanishi Biker. This Biker mounted a pulse-jet engine, copied from German V-1 cruise missiles, creating deafening noise. The pilot sat behind the engine, controlling the flying bomb towards ships with minimal instrumentation. Vibrations were so severe, test pilots reported bleeding from ears and nose after short flights. Kyushu K-11 Shiragiku. The Shiragiku trainer was redesigned specifically for kamikaze missions with strengthened airframe and bomb racks. Its docile handling made it ideal for hastily trained pilots on their first and final mission. Slow speed and fixed landing gear meant interception was almost guaranteed. Mitsubishi Ki-67 Hiryu Peggy. This Peggy heavy bomber proved too valuable for standard kamikaze use, reserved for critical targets. Its 2,000 Kegel bomb load could cripple even armored carriers if impacts occurred. Few pilots possessed the skill to control the twin-engine bomber through defensive fire. As losses mounted and these purpose-built weapons proved insufficient, Japan turned to an even more desperate source: training aircraft and obsolete biplanes never meant for combat. Next up are the training aircraft and obsolete designs, machines never intended for combat, now packed with explosives and aimed at invasion fleets. Yokosuka K-5Y Willow. The Willow was a primary trainer biplane where student pilots took their first flights. Fabric-covered and wooden-framed, it carried a 250 kilos bomb at 90 mph maximum speed. Allied gunners found the slow, ancient biplanes easier to shoot down than skeet targets. Tachikawa Ki-9 Spruce. The Spruce served as Japan's basic trainer throughout the war, teaching thousands of pilots fundamental skills. Its open cockpit exposed kamikaze pilots to freezing temperatures at altitude before their final dives. Fixed landing gear and 140 mph top speed made interception by Corsairs almost leisurely. Tachikawa Ki-55 Ida. This Ida was an advanced trainer designed to prepare pilots for frontline fighters. Pressed into kamikaze service, it carried bombs equal to half its empty weight. The aircraft's light construction meant anti-aircraft fragments tore through aluminum skin like paper. Kokusai Ki-86. The Ki-86 was a license-built copy of Germany's Bücher Jungmann, imported for training programs. Two-seat configuration meant instructor space was filled with additional explosives instead of veteran guidance. Production continued through 1945, despite universal recognition of its combat worthlessness. Mitsubishi K-3M Pine. The Pine crew trainer taught navigation and bombing techniques to multi-engine bomber crews. Its biplane design dated to 1930, making it obsolete before the war even started. Cruising at 110 mph, Pine kamikazes were often overtaken by destroyer escorts they targeted. Kyushu K-10W Oak. This Oak was an intermediate trainer featuring enclosed cockpits and retractable landing gear. Converting trainers to kamikazes required minimal modification beyond external bomb racks and fuel tank removal. Most were destroyed on airfields by American strafing runs before reaching operational status. Mitsubishi Ki-51 Sonya. The Sonya light bomber was obsolete by 1943, outclassed by every Allied fighter type. Surviving aircraft transitioned to kamikaze duty carrying 200 kilo bombs at 260 mph maximum. Its dated design meant spare parts were non-existent by 1945. Kawasaki Ki-32 Mary. The Mary assault plane saw brief service in China before mechanical unreliability grounded the fleet. Reactivated for kamikaze missions, its liquid-cooled engine was vulnerable to even glancing anti-aircraft hits. Production ended in 1940, but surviving airframes were thrown at carriers anyway. Mitsubishi Ki-30 An. This An light bomber was Japan's primary ground attack aircraft before superior designs replaced it. By 1945, remaining examples were dragged from storage depots and refurbished for suicide missions. Its 1937 design philosophy showed in every obsolete component. Nakajima Ki 4. The Ki-4 reconnaissance biplane first flew in 1933, making it older than most kamikaze pilots. Fabric wings and exposed engine cylinders belonged to aviation's pioneering era, not modern warfare. These ancient relics represented the absolute bottom of Japan's aerial arsenal. These desperate measures were still manned aircraft with some semblance of control. The final phase eliminated even that pretense, creating weapons that weren't really aircraft at all. Next up are the final kamikaze weapons, designs that abandoned any pretense of being aircraft and embraced their true nature as piloted missiles. Yokosuka MXY-7 Oka Model 22. The Model 22 replaced solid rockets with a single turbojet engine, extending range to 80 miles. Air-breathing propulsion allowed launch from safer distances, but only 50 were completed before surrender. The engine's unreliability meant most test flights ended in crashes rather than controlled approaches. Yokosuka MXY-7 Oka Model 33. This Model 33 launched from ground catapults rather than motherships, eliminating vulnerable Betty bombers. Compressed air accelerated the missile down rails until sustainer rockets ignited for the journey to offshore targets. None deployed operationally despite successful land tests in June 1945. Yokosuka MXY-7 Oka Model 43A. The Model 43A featured folding wings for submarine storage, launched by catapult after the sub surfaced. Navy planners envisioned swarms emerging from waters near invasion beaches without warning. One prototype test occurred before the carrying submarine was sunk by American destroyers. Nakajima Kitsuka. The Kitsuka began as a radio-controlled target drone for anti-aircraft gunnery practice. Engineers added a cockpit and bomb rack, creating a kamikaze weapon from training equipment. Marginal stability required experienced pilots, defeating the purpose of using disposable aircraft for inexperienced volunteers. Kawanishi Biker Kai. This biker variant mounted twin pulse jets beneath the fuselage, instead of a single dorsal engine. Double the thrust promised 500 mph terminal velocity, faster than diving helldivers. Vibrations increased proportionally, causing structural failures during ground tests that killed 2 engineers. Fieseler Phi 103R Reichenberg. The Reichenberg was Germany's piloted V-1 flying bomb, 6 examples captured and shipped to Japan. Japanese engineers studied the design for indigenous pulse jet development, but found the cockpit too cramped. None were modified before Allied advances overran the research facility. Mizuno Shinryu II. The Shinryu 2 replaced the piston engine with an experimental ramjet, requiring rocket boosters for takeoff acceleration. Ramjet efficiency at high speeds promised extended range compared to rocket-only designs. Wind tunnel testing continued through August 1945, but no flight trials occurred. Igo 1Co. The Igo was a glide bomb with an optional cockpit, giving commanders flexibility between piloted and unpiloted attacks. Pilots could bail out after aiming the weapon, though parachutes were often omitted to save weight. 20 saw limited use in the Philippines before production ended. From October 1944's first organized attacks to August 1945's final sorties, over 3,900 kamikaze missions were flown. This complete catalogue spans the entire spectrum, from elite Zeros to desperate rocket bombs, conventional aircraft to piloted missiles. None could alter the war's inevitable conclusion.